Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. So today we are doing a reaction video to one of our favorite YouTubers, and that is Judy D. Judy D, if you don't know her already, does many different videos, but she's probably more well known for her worst reviews video, where she visits a worst reviewed makeup artist. Now, I just want to go into this video with a disclaimer and something I believe personally. I believe that if you are selling your services as a professional makeup artist, you better be as professional as possible. That means hygienic. It means knowing what you're doing in general. It means treating the customer with respect because you are a service. They are paying for your service. That means being polite to the customer. It means, you know, like you would in any kind of customer related face-to-face environment. What you shouldn't be doing is just deciding one day that you are a makeup artist and then charging people for it, especially a high price. That's why to me these worst reviewed videos are extremely interesting, because a lot of people, and I know from experience working in one of these kind of salons, is that when people realize that makeup was this big thing and people going crazy for makeup and it was becoming people's hobbies and people were buying makeup services, everyone just decided that yeah, I can do makeup, and they started doing it, not realizing there's more to it than just putting makeup on someone's face in terms of everything, basically. So that's what we're going to do. Just before we get into that today, if this is your first time here watching me and you're like, who is this guy to, like, you know, talk about this? My name's Robert Welsh. I'm a professional makeup artist here on YouTube and also in real life. And it's my goal to help you become a pro yourself, or just someone who's really good at makeup. I started training in makeup when I was 18 and started kind of doing it professionally within that year. I am now 32 and I've been doing makeup that whole time on a professional level. And just more recently I always say more recently, but I think it's almost been 3 years now I've been doing YouTube for, and these kind of videos. And this kind of service is more what I would do. Not exactly this in like a salon, but a YouTube kind of makeup artist who does makeup on themselves is still a very new concept to me, although it is a job that I do. I only started doing makeup on myself when I started doing YouTube, so I had to learn how to do makeup this way rather than this way. So when I look at videos like this, I take my job as a professional makeup artist very seriously, and a YouTuber. I take my job as a YouTuber very seriously, but that's why these videos I find very interesting to watch, because it can be quite cringy sometimes. Okay, there's my disclaimer. Shall we do it? Let's go. Oh, and I'm wearing a jacket because I'm freezing, but like I don't mind being cold. Okay, am I recording?
This makeup artist knew I was cold, and he decided to tuck me in for bed with a towel. You know the story?
Okay, let's start by looking at this towel round. You know, it's fine to protect someone's clothes. If you work in the hair salon, maybe there's a spare, you know, like gown going that you can wrap around them. Perhaps there is, you know, maybe you can buy your own. Being a makeup artist, you can invest in one. Or find just something maybe to wrap around the client if you are worried about being so messy that, you know, makeup gets in their clothes, which can happen by accident. Loose powder can get in their clothing too. And if they're wearing the clothes that they're going to wear on a night out and they're coming to you, you know, beforehand to do their makeup, it's probably a good idea to protect their clothing. However, a towel like this that just physically looks disgusting. Makeup is meant to be clean, like beauty is meant to be hygienic. Not because, you know, oh, it's beauty, but because you're touching someone's face. Things are going in crevices. It's not a good idea visually to use a towel like this. It's just kind of gross in general. If he starts to use that to kind of wipe things on, that's going to be even worse.
About that towel, it was actually folded very neatly, very nicely. But the more you look at it, the dirtier it becomes. It was the nastiest thing I've seen in my life. It was a biohazard.
Okay, let's talk about that concealer as well. If you are going to use a product as a makeup artist, it's fine on yourself again, that has a wand, that comes with a wand, this shouldn't go directly on someone's face. It's going on their face and then back into here, on their face, back into here. What we should be doing is taking the wand out, like so, on a clean palette. This isn't clean. It would be clean. And then dispensing some like this. This palette would have been sanitized, it would be completely clean, and we have enough there to go on and do a face with. This wand is never to touch someone's skin, or even your skin, your hand, anything like that. So that's how we do that hygienically. When we're done with this, we would wipe it and then sanitize it again.
You know, something cute about this makeup artist is that you see all these makeup products he has, well, they're not enough. They're not enough. He has to get products that are supposedly for sale, open them up, use them, put them back in their packaging, and then put them back for sale.
That is horrific. That is unhygienic, and they should be shut down. Again, a tub like that, spatula. Where's the spatula? Okay, so I can't find one. So a tub like that, a creamy product. Again, if you're touching the skin, take a tiny bit out with a spatula onto your palette and work off your palette with an angled brush that way. We really don't want to go in and out of the actual product itself, especially if we're going to put the lid back on and sell it. That's so gross. Look, and we're doing this balancing act again where everything is just, poor Jude, everything's just balancing on her. Terrible, terrible. It's so unhygienic. Here's the thing, someone is giving you money. They're paying for a service. At least make them comfortable.
Freaking con artist, I tell you. Also, there's a whole ass makeup buffet up in here. You'll see in the future, it got to a point where I started choking.
I just want to mention as well, powders, eyeshadow palettes like that, they can be sprayed with sanitizing sprays. You can wipe the top off with a tissue as well, and then go ahead and use the product.
And you know, Linda's like, I'm not naive. We know these brushes are dirty. I mean, you could smell them from a mile away.
If your brushes are that dirty that they're giving off a smell, that is horrific. Sanitize them. Sanitize everything. It's not just for your client, it's for yourself as well. What if someone decides to fucking sue you? What if someone's like, you know what? That person has scarred me for life. I'm suing them. Terrible. Look, if you pause it in certain places, you can see like old sponges in there. It's a really unclean makeup kit. Bacteria everywhere, growing and festering. That's a word, right? And then going onto someone else's face after being on someone else's face a week ago.
Out of all the beautiful colors in the palette, what does he pick? Green. He picks green.
He's using a very dense, thin brush, and then holding it very far down, and it's applying a lot of pressure, which is fine. You can hold it far down if you want to get a lot of pressure, but on the eye area, I would be a little bit more gentle. And I can see at the end of the metal part of the brush is curling out slightly. If he pushes too much, that's going to scratch her a little bit as well. But yeah, I would just tap that color on and then blend it out. Again, that concealer going on top of the eye, especially around the eye area, and now it's going on top of an eyeshadow, and then that wand is going to go right back in that concealer. What if there's green now? What if there's green on that concealer now? You know? You shouldn't be applying that much pressure that someone's eyelid is almost turning inside out either.
You thought the green was...
Ooh, it's taken off that first layer of eyeshadow now, and now we're going to have to try and build up this product. It's that harshness, it's that why is he scrubbing? It's like he's trying to clean her eyelids. Just a really light, fluffy brush would be really, really nice to apply and buff out a little bit.
It's bad. Wait until you see the purple. He wanted to go for the bruised eye look, purple and green.
Is that a flat brush? What's going on? There's no thought here. I don't think there's first of all, by watching this, I don't think there is an initial thought of what he wanted to do, what color combination he wanted to do. Maybe there wasn't even a discussion before about the color. You know what? That's a perfect time to sanitize your brushes with a quick drying like brush cleaner. You clean their stand and clean your brushes. You know, what kind of look are you going for? I want this look. I want this look. You know, someone says I want dramatic. Okay, what does dramatic mean to you? Because to me, dramatic is, you know, black, blown out, glitter everywhere. Dramatic to them might mean a brown smoky eye, you know? There's been no discussion here, and there's been no thought process as to how he's gonna stack these colors, because really he should have carved out the brow first and then gone on with that green if he did want to use that green, and then done all this color building through the socket and then cut the crease with concealer. He is now using this concealer to cover his mistakes, and it's not gonna work. You've cut the crease to a point where you've made it really defined, and now you're going to use your finger to apply the colour that you want on that cut crease, which is fine, but around those edges, you really need some precision and definition to keep that sharpness off the cut crease. Our fingers, unfortunately, aren't as sharp and rigid as a brush, so you know, you're going to get a tiny bit of, it's not going to be as defined as it could be. Jesus, look at it. It's two different colours. That's two different colours, right?
I'm not gonna beat around the bush. This was probably one of the most painful experiences I've ever gone through. It was also the only time I did a makeup look and actually left me scarred for a few days after. It was incredibly hard because this makeup artist was so fixated on getting my eyes done.
Look at that brush. That metal part of a brush is touching her eyes and it's curling out, and no wonder she's sore and she's been scarred. He is using that. That is a really dense, harsh brush, and I don't know if it's real hair, but some real hairs can be really spiky and really, really harsh. If you're trying to blend out with a brush that's flatter and not like a rounded or tapered blending brush, it is gonna hurt and you're gonna get really bad blending.
I mean, just to put you into perspective, this entire makeup look took 1 hour and 10 minutes. 1 hour and 7 minutes of them were on my eyes, and then 45 minutes of those were on one eye. So you can imagine how sore my eyelid ended up being. The same day I came back and the day after, it was entirely red. And then 3 days after that, it literally started to shed. My skin was shedding. It was that day I realized I was in fact a reptile. Absolutely disgusting. But yeah, it was honestly very painful. The entire thing was super painful.
What was that with those bits of concealer just on the inside of her eye there? See, you can't just put on loads of makeup and then tidy it up with concealer afterwards. It just doesn't work. Now has gone over what he was just trying to tidy. It's that thing of, you know, when you cut your fringe and you keep going, it keeps getting shorter and shorter and shorter. You keep adding more and adding more, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. But what I would do right now if I was him is I would be like to my client, I'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry, bear with me just 1 second. I need to go and grab something, right? And then I would go away for maybe just 30 seconds and then come back and take another look and reassess and think, take a break from it. What do I need to do now? Right here, right now, I wouldn't even bother. I would cut off the corners to kind of gauge my shape a little bit more. Straighten that out and think, okay, this is a shape I want now. Now what do I have to do to achieve that shape more? We've ruined the eyebrows. We've ruined the shape of the brows. We've ruined the shape of the cut crease. We've got this weird concealer on the inside corner for some reason. Honestly, at this point, I would just start again and do something basic as fuck. Like, I wouldn't go in trying to do a cut crease, but yeah. What is going on? What is going on? Wait till you're done. Just do the brows later. Wait till you're done. You've done the whole face, because we keep adding. I wouldn't be surprised if he adds more concealer on the top and the bottom. Just wait. Concealer down. He's not thinking. There's no thinking. This is panic now. I feel like panic has set in. And it's like, okay, how can I fix? How can I fix? How can I fix? Take a second. That eyeshadow has so much texture to it that now it's going to look weird under the brow. And now you're going to have to redefine the brow shape again because you're adding it under the brow with no precision and no definition. Think of your shapes and the structure. I have not once seen a blending brush, a fluffy blending brush, just like a normal nice blending brush. They're all flat, all strange. It's like blending with like this. Like it's gonna hurt, it's gonna be stubby.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's just follow through what he's doing. So he grabs a brush, he drops it, he grabs another brush, immediately uses it on me without applying any product. But yet there is product on my eye. What a freaking mess.
Oh, it's making my eyes, like, I can't see. So he... So this isn't, you know what, the colours together isn't a bad thing, right? That green and that pink and that kind of blacky purple through the socket, beautiful. Pink and green, a bit dodgy in the join because together they can be a bit muddy. You can make it work. It's absolutely fine. So, again, stacking our colours in order. I would have done the green halfway through, gently blended in the pink, maybe put a bit of something in between that join, between the pink and the green to make it not so muddy. Then I would have gone into the socket with the black as defined as possible, and then gently haloed that with the purple, and then actually I would have joined the purple into the pink on the outside corner so you get that really nice join. Then cut the crease. We have cut this crease 50 times in this video. Stop with that concealer, poor thing. And we're adding that an eyeliner as well. A gel is fine to cut a crease with if you haven't been rubbing someone's eyelid raw for the past hour. Look at that skin. You can see where the skin is like giving up and like, oh no, I don't want to hold on to makeup anymore because the top layer has been completely wiped off.
Everything is like all over the place. It smells all over the place. By the way, from this point onwards, he just forgets about the second eye.
Can I just, okay, now he's cut off that corner, we have much more of like a direction and a shape to go in. He should have done that ages ago because now we can see where we're going a little bit more of a shape, right? And it would have made a little bit more sense just in your mind and just visually.
Just look at me. Look how beautiful I look after all the suffering. You know, Miss Mams, you'd think he was over the eyes at this point. Like, now we slowly move.
I personally don't like to use beauty blending sponges like this on clients. It's potentially unhygienic, even if you do sanitize them and wash them. Those disposable, like, triangle sponges, absolutely fine. Or use a new sponge and gift it to the person afterwards, include it in your price that you're charging. It doesn't have to be a crazy expensive one. It can be like, you know, they're not that difficult to make. Yeah. And while we're using this curved edge to try and make something like cut and defined. It's a curved edge.
At this point, I haven't really complained about the brush. I haven't really said anything. I was just going with the flow. But at that point, it really got to, like, it. That's it, you know, I had enough. It was literally more than an hour on one freaking eye, and this guy was like so freaking chill about it. It freaking pissed me off even more.
Podemos terminar media hora porque nos...
It could be easy if you could actually do it and be charging for as well. Bear in mind your time. If you've done this look for almost 2 hours, that's not beneficial. How much are you charging? This is why I personally like to do eye makeup before any face, including concealer and foundation, just because you don't know what could go wrong. Mess like that, little bits of glitter, for example, that may show up on camera when a flash goes off. They look like just white dots. Wet mascara or wet something, all that kind of stuff can be cleaned up with the primer that you use or the moisturizer that you use. I said that weird. Or the moisturizer that you use, just to remove that excess product. Because then you start to get this like congealed mess, and the concealer's trying to set, and then you're going over it again, and you're wiping, and you're going over it again. It's just too much. And you know what? Sometimes I just saw he isn't even blending. He's almost just like dragging her skin as he goes. Like the brush wasn't coming off her skin at all. It was just, oh. And so now he's gone for an even thinner, even pointier, stabbier brush. Why have you not got a blending brush? You've got that whole set that doesn't come with a blending brush. Take this money that Judy's going to give you and buy a blending brush. Buy 2 or 3. You're like rolling. That's what I really like to use blending brushes around the eyes for concealer. I find it so much easier. You can be a little bit more precise. Precision. Come on. Look at all that shit around her eye. More concealer. Honestly, he's going to go through this. Why do we get the eyes done? Do the eyes. Finish up. Because whenever you make a mess, it's coming from the eyeshadow, right? So get all your eyeshadow done, then clean it up. Then see what has to be done. Because you're just going to, you're adding makeup and makeup and makeup. There's dirt here, crap here, black eyeshadow here, building, green eye. It's like, it's just get it done. That is going to be vile. That texture is going. All those layers now with that powder. Look at that sponge. That looks like something that's come from like some kind of like vintage makeup museum where they're like, look at this.
Le quiero poner algo que le va a dar un toque de limón. Mira qué bello, eh?
Why is he rubbing like this? Powder. Use a sponge, fine, but we want to tap and roll. Or a powder brush or just something. He's rubbing like he's sanding down a piece of, oh, I don't know, what does he sand down? Like wood? You know? There's also no thought here for, you know, highlighter. You know, highlighters can potentially have undertones too and suit undertones. We know that, right? So all he's done is looked in the palette and thought, that looks kind of shiny, and rubbed it on her face. And actually it's pure white. It's pure white shimmer. And that, again, no thought for anything like that either. Again, disposable mascara ones. Dip once, use, throw it away. Dip once, use, and throw it away. Please, please, please. That's someone's eye. That is someone's vision. It is someone's way to see. Please do not fuck with people's eyes. That's really unhygienic. And I bet that mascara stinks. Again, using that lip gloss or lipstick, whatever it is, applicator directly onto the lip. That's the mouth. Going back into the applicator. Put it on here. Once. Roll it off once. Use a brush. Done. Done. Hygiene is so important. Let's take a look at that texture of that concealer. It's all, look at it, all bundled up. He's made more texture on the skin by using 2 over-the-top amounts of product. You can see on the eyes here, There's the shimmer shade that he used underneath the eye, trying to carve it out, has almost knocked off the end of that brow and made it this grey. And there's no definition to the eye. We spent all that time trying to make this cut crease in that shape, and yet it just looks like a load of colours moulding into each other. Can you see in that corner as well where the skin isn't holding onto the product properly? There's a patch there because it's just so worn down. And also with a black shade, he's kind of gone around like this. It would be nicer to bring it down this way because the whole shape is going that way, right? We have this up here, we have the liner going up this way, and it would be nicer to have the black almost cheese wedge down this way, but it's kind of like going off that way. So it's curving out and we could get this really nice feline look. I think, you know what? I'm going to recreate that look really quickly and just kind of like, I'll film it just so you can kind of see how maybe it could be structured better. And then I'll close out the video. Okay, so this is what I would have done personally in terms of shape. I'm just going to add a little bit of highlight that he was doing under the eye, where he dragged it across the whole eye. I've left like a bit in the arch there specifically for the highlight, and I'm just going to tap it gently into that area. I don't want it to be a full line. I want it to be like thin, thick, and then going into thin again. I also haven't like over crossed the green and the purple. Like visually you can see it a little bit when I go up, but so it doesn't get that muddy texture. I've gone this way with the black instead of curving it round. He curved it around kind of this way, and I've only cut the crease once, and then I sorted out my shape underneath and then concealed once. Okay, so that is that. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've ever had anything like Judy's experience here, do let me know below. Go ahead and check out her channel if you haven't already. You have a lot to catch up on. It's extremely bingeable content. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.